May we humbly bow down with respect towards the Buddhas, the Mahaparami, the great perfections, those embodiments of the Bodhisattvas and Mahabodhisattvas, and all descendants of the great perfections. No matter whose groups among these embodiments, if there are karma of blocking, separating from one another, having attitudes towards one another, until it causes the blockage, unable to together bless beings with the Mahaparami, the great perfections. Any karma of using the perfection to create karma upon this land, leading the followers to create disharmony and quarrels among one another upon this land, or even leading one another to kill and persecute, creating difficulties and troublesome, according to such karma, with all behaviors of stubbornness, having had towards the great perfection, the Buddhas, and all the Mahabodhisattvas, may we humbly ask for forgiveness from now on. Ahosi, Ahosi, Ahosi. From the Brahma world to the bottom of hell, all about the living, attempting to dwell in the body-mind elements, attempting to stay and be fixated within the states of mind and the assumed Dharma. This creates samsara altogether collectively. There has been no conclusion according to the Buddha's enlightenment and their natural extinction. Therefore, it has become cases of karma for uncountable periods of time. The remaining karmic unease within the mind or the heart causes the inability to promptly give ending as helping the samsara by a single sentence. Instead, there are the delay and going around and around with observation, consideration, analyzation, and lamentation. There has been a delay with the forms of doubts and hesitation, a delay in sinking into the stillness, indifference, equanimity, sinking into meditation, sinking into the awareness, meditative power, and meditative absorption and insights. The grosser than that is a delay in sinking of sounds, smells, tastes, touches, and shapes. May all cases and all types of collective karma towards the grace of the triple gem, towards the physical world and samsara, towards the sentient beings which have been examples of collective karma among one another, may there be ahosi, ahosi, ahosi. May we also declare removal and cancellation of all deluded desires and expectations within the body, mind, eyes, ears, nose, tongue, sounds, smells, tastes, touches, and shapes, mental elements, sensual pleasures, all the dislike, liking, loving, hatred, goodness, badness, equanimity, harmony, disharmony, and all of dualities to be removed from our fixation to it from now on. May we also declare removal and cancellation of all deluded desires and expectations within all types of temporary relationships, as fathers, mothers, sons and daughters, husbands and wives, fathers and mothers, those kind supporters and chasters, friends, enemies, relatives, siblings, brothers, sisters, descendants, followers, countries and homelands, nations, societies, small and large, and all types of global relationships, including all the galaxies and universes. May we declare removal and cancellation of all vengeance, revenges, all the harbor thoughts to get back to someone, jealousy, concepts, doctrines, dogmas, religions, traditional values, all the values given to everything, concepts, ideas, attitudes towards living life and lifestyles, all the fixation to living places, concrete and abstract things. May we declare removal and cancellation of all deluded desires and expectations within all and everything, within values given, within the quickness of the mind, within intelligence, smartness, stupidity, within observation, analyzation, hesitation, doubt, aggressions, and all clinging to all types of minds, whether they are fineness or gross. From seeing, looking, knowing, with values and opinions. Ahosi, ahosi, ahosi. So let's open up further and further without focusing. Widen out further. Everything is from that which has nothing to do with involvement or non-involvement, attachment or non-attachment, or detachment. Neither has it related to letting go or not letting go, discarding or not discarding. We are constantly confronting or facing the results, the outcome of our karmic deeds, whether it is from this life or past life. It is constantly queuing up to give effect. So sometimes it is from the good karma or neutral karma, and it is easy life. It seems we are in the comfortable zone, but if the mind is not extended outwardly in the way of giving the merit, great blessed fortune, in the way that is not giving through the great compassion of the infinite, there is the grasping mind, which is never having enough of consuming and feeding oneself with satisfaction. The consumption to grab more of comfort is endless, and that is a carelessness. And there is not just comfort that is consumed. One has to consume the other side as well, which is the discomfort. And when that is coming, one tries to escape or eliminate, which is the habit of dwelling in the comfort zone for too long. It becomes a habit to feed oneself with satisfaction most of the times. Through the desire, delusion, and delusive attachment, that is the foundation of the habits of the mind. That is actually the main karmic difficulties. So how is it that we are going to face differently? Facing without facing. Instead of consuming at the time of being comfortable in life, opening up towards giving, towards everything. Everything is from that which has nothing to do with being comfortable or not, having difficulties or not, at ease or not. Immediately and instantly, the mind is extending outward towards everything in the way of giving through the great compassion of the infinite. Constantly giving something that is ungraspable. Supports materially with people can be done in moderation. But at the same time, always open up, extending the mind further without focusing on anything particularly. Using the reminders, everything is from that which has nothing to do with attachment, detachment, or non-attachment. Nothing to do with letting go or not letting go, putting down or not putting down anything. This power of the infinite will dissolve the habits of desire, delusion, and delusive attachment. And one will live with less desire, less consume. Not just consuming. When life is not just consuming, instead it's just giving and giving and giving, the infinite force, proceeding with everything through the great compassion of the infinite force. All the defilements will be dissolved automatically without trying to get rid of it. Trying to get rid of it is also a delusion. It's founded by the desire and delusive attachment. The cycle of birth, old age, sickness, and death is backed up by desire, delusion, and delusive attachment. It's dominated by this. Because it's clinging and stickiness to the projection to gain, to get, to have, to be, to become is so deep. It's rooted down deeply for many lifetimes, for eons of times. How can we remove it? The deprogram has to be used. Declare removal and cancellation of such habits, of trying to maintain, sustain, and dwell within any states of mind, within expectations, promises, obligations, commitments, opinions, values. And forgive. Every situation is a collective karma that has been thrown in all together among all involved parties. Whenever someone is forgiving, asking for forgiveness, and giving forgiveness, the remaining resentments, the remaining uncomfortable feelings and emotions will be dissolved gradually or instantly, depending on how much one's heart opening to do that. So give time to open up to use all these tools to help end for samsara. The opening has to be for a lengthy time, not just opening and closing. Use the reminders accordingly. Everything is from that which has nothing to do with being comfortable or not. So when you are facing difficulties in life, you will proceed with everything with these reminders, so that you are not stuck to be focusing on only within yourself, because that is a delusion, a delusive attachment to dwell within your mind. And when your mind begins anything, it's not just one. It goes into variations of trains of thoughts. And your mood will be fluctuated. Agitations will be created. That is grabbing. With that effort, is useless, because it's coming from the grasping mind. It is samsara in itself. Giving the infinite force into samsara instead. What is the infinite force? Everything is from that which has nothing to do with being limited or not, being finite or not. Everything is from that which has nothing to do with involvement or non-involvement. Are you clear with this? And widen out further and further, limitlessly. Widen out further and further, boundlessly. Comfort doesn't seem to be a suffering. Actually, it has less unbearableness in it. The more one holds on and dwell in the comfort, it is clear that one will not want discomfort, and that is itself the suffering. So don't be careless. Give the infinite force and proceed with everything simultaneously through the infinite force of the great compassion. Proceed with everything simultaneously, instantly. Everything is from that which has nothing to do with involvement or non-involvement.